on the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Gentlemen, why do we do this on a Friday night?
Friday night is
Horror night.
horror night.
Absolutely. You may notice by two of the three attires here, Ghostbusters could sometimes fall into it.
Yeah.
We've started our Christmas run of Christmas horror movies.
Yeah.
Look at that Sonic jumper. That's proper good, that.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And then we've
Merry
got the ultimate bad guy,
The Grinch.
Yeah.
the absolute smell of
There's
perfume.
there's no happy holidays on this show. It's Merry Christmas.
And a merry fuck you.
Exactly.
But as we said, tonight is the first of our 4 Christmas horrors, and we've gone with arguably the biggest one, easily the biggest one.
I think so.
Yeah, probably
Uh,
the lightest of them as well, the lightheartedest one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say it's the biggest one you can definitely say is a
Christmas
Christmas film. Like is a Christmas horror film. Yeah, I'd say it's the biggest one for that. Like there's other ones that you could make an argument, oh that's Christmas, it's not, but like this is definitely a Christmas one. Like
Although I do wind a lot of people up about this, that it's not a Christmas movie. But it's the 1984 movie by Steven Spielberg and co. is The Gremlins.
Directed by the great Joe Dante.
Absolutely. Produced by Spielberg, made by Dante, effects
Written
done
by
by
Christopher
everybody.
Columbus, the Chris Columbus.
Yeah. Tell you, he went on to have a stellar career as well, didn't
Yes,
he,
he
Chris
did.
Columbus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
did.
I think he done the first 2 Harry Potters. He's done...
yeah, he discovered America as well.
Yeah. But that was the main thing, wasn't it?
He done the Goonies as well.
Well, Donner done the Goonies, didn't he?
No, he done the Goonies, and he also gained recognition with Home Alone 1 and 2 as well.
They were awesome, though. They were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It is all about Home Alone 4, though.
Oh yeah.
3.
4. That's 4.
I've
No.
never actually, and you know, I've never even watched either of them because they're so good. Like I wouldn't be ready for it.
They're
I
so
have a
good.
friend-
They're so good. You didn't even watch them.
I have a friend joining me tonight, lads, in the absence of Millie. Even though Millie's in the room, they can't be near each other. Just in honor of it.
Yes. Here comes the main man.
You for joining us on this podcast here tonight.
Now, at the time of recording, it is 11:41 p.m.
This is 19 minutes.
15 minutes to get that man some food,
Yeah.
and that's it. 18 minutes. You can't feed him after midnight.
He's just eaten, and he's a big fan of that. Coca-Cola. He prefers the zero. like
Absolutely.
himself.
Who doesn't prefer the zero?
Yeah, dinosaurs.
But as I said, this had a stellar production lineup, really, didn't it?
Unbelievable.
Like Spielberg, Columbus, Dante. What more did you want? And then you go into even the cast of the film. Obviously, you had Corey Feldman, who was a young superstar at the time.
And Zach Galligan as well, who was obviously
He just kind of there, wasn't he? He was.
he was an enjoyable character, and actually, you know, he's the epitome of the kind of generic 80s actor, isn't he?
Just there.
It was his first feature film as well. Like, I mean, he did a couple. He
done Hatchet
sci-fi.
3.
Yes, he done Nothing Lasts Forever. He done Waxwork as well, which is a pretty good. That's another comedy horror movie as well.
Yeah, Hatchet 3, I think, was the last one I seen him in.
Yeah, he's in all the Waxworks. I'm just going through his work here. Warlock, if anyone's ever seen Warlock the Armageddon. He's in that. He was in Cyborg 3, good lord.
Jesus, I didn't really. That was the continuation of the Van Damme
Van
movies?
Damme one, yeah.
Jesus.
He's been around. He's been there up until 2019, and then his last television appearance was last year. Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai.
Yeah, that's the cartoon that went on to Netflix
There you go. So,
or Prime or one of them. That was actually meant to be very good. I never got around to watching it.
No, I haven't seen it myself, but yeah, I had heard good things. It's not like, in terms of like the background of it, the people are very strong. Like like they're all mentioned, like Spielberg and stuff. It's very strong. But as a cast, it didn't have like a monstrous cast in it. Do you know what I mean? Like this wasn't like big name after big name after big name, and even after Gremlins, a lot of these wouldn't be considered like big names. They didn't like step up from Gremlins either.
Yeah.
For
It was
me,
actually
I think
interesting casting, wasn't it? Like it
the
was actually
supporting cast for me
yeah.
was top drawer in here. Dick Miller, you had Judge Reinhold, Jonathan Banks, who obviously went on to be famous from Breaking Bad.
Corey Feldman, obviously, as you mentioned.
He's a
Yeah.
Yeah,
fucking dick. Howie Mandel was in it. Howie Mandel done the voice for Gizmo, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yeah.
What'd you say, Corey Feldman's a dick?
yeah.
At that
Apparently, yeah.
time, though, he was only a kid. Like, but yeah, he's
Yeah,
become.
but again, like, okay, he's a dick, but also everyone knows what happened to him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
Proper
that's a
order.
different
But
conversation.
that's yeah.
um,
I think though at the time that this came out, it was probably well ahead of its time. This is another one of those movies where practical effects were king,
yeah,
and it just made everything so much better. But it's such a simple story, and it's also a reason why you don't get pets for Christmas.
yeah. I mean, it's a very like yeah. I think the cast. I agree. Like, it's not it's not A-lister after A-lister
yeah.
considering the production team, but really smart casting because everybody in it done a really
Oh,
good job.
everyone hits what you
Um,
expect them to hit. Like,
Dick,
especially
Dick
your
Miller's
one
brilliant.
your one coming in trying to kill his dog and all. Like, she's fucking, you know.
She's
she,
off the charts. She is.
Yeah, even as a kid, man. Because I mean, realistically, like it's a any lower than 10 to 12, like especially back then, it was a scary enough movie for kids. Like when it came out, another '84 movie.
Yeah.
Again,
thi-
I always say it. My year, some
Now,
belters.
this definitely, when it used to be on, had a certain part cut out. Because
it
I
did.
definitely watched this as a kid, and there's no way in hell that
Or
the scene was in it. Do you know what I mean?
I was literally just about to say RTE used to show it with a 25-second clip cut out of when she's explaining why she hates Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, like
It's 100% out of it, and and rightly so. It was out of it at the time because Gremlins, as far as I remember, used to be like the 6 o'clock movie.
Yeah.
yeah,
The big
but
movie. Yeah. No, the
Big
six
movie.
o'clock.
Yeah, that's the one.
big
That's
movie.
yeah. That's
But do,
Saturday. Yeah.
do you remember like when you found out that was said in the film? Because like I'd obviously seen the film as a kid, you know what I mean? And I
I
was like,
watched it
yeah,
during the week. It said so basically after the bank scene where your
They
woman
wrecked the place.
gets trashed. Yeah, he invites her out, and obviously I think it's a couple of frames after that she explains.
yeah, but do
Like,
you remember when the first time you seen it say that? Do you know what I mean? Like I'd watched that film
I can
for
only
years.
remember it recently when I watched it.
That's what I
Actually,
mean. I only remember like now that I've watched it back in the last few years. But I would have had it on VHS and stuff,
Mm.
or I would have rented it on VHS or whatever, and it didn't say it.
It's funny.
Yeah, because I think nearly everything that came through was edited for that.
Yeah, but when you think back, like that
so-
wasn't a big thing back in the day, editing bits out.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
Gizmo's box, by the way.
Oh, it's fucking deadly.
I
And I have the DVD here still wrapped up.
Yeah,
Let's see if it says anything about the cut or anything.
I remember I got 1 and 2 brought back from the States for me as a present. I think I was about 15, and I was watching it, and when it said it, I was like, "Oh, Paul," I says, "I've seen this a million times, and I've never seen this before."
that's what I mean. Like I was well into my 20s, definitely. I was in my late 20s when I found out that it had a scene where they were like, "Oh no, like Santa's not real." Like,
Because
like,
I
hang on,
went,
this was never in this film. What the fuck's going on here?
I went checking for it online. You know, just when it became thing, I was like, apparently it's a big thing in Ireland and England that it was taken out.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like I was definitely late in my 20s when I found that out.
Yeah.
This wasn't like, oh yeah, it's I found it out a couple of years later. And no,
Yeah.
like,
And anybody that obviously heard me at the start saying that I used to wind people up about this not being a Christmas movie, that is the exact reason that I state that this isn't a Christmas movie, because no Christmas movie should tell or potentially tell a child watching this that
there's no Santa Claus.
well, I
Yeah.
can't say that because there's two small people that might be asleep or awake.
yeah, no, obviously.
Still real to me, damn it.
Damn right, I wake up and there's presents there every Christmas day.
There's presents under my tree right now, and if I
To Ian's house.
yeah, So if I kind of block it out of my mind, they will just have appeared on Christmas morning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just keep walking. No,
Just
what
keep
happens
walking.
is it's when you wake up on Christmas morning and Rachel's put the rest of the ones that she's bought and not told you under the tree.
That's the fun. That's the
Yeah.
fun.
Or Millie's ripped them to shreds, one or the other.
No,
Eh,
Millie wouldn't do that.
no, she's good like that. To be fair, but yeah.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
I have to say I love this movie. You boys know, I kind of grew up with this obviously because it was. I think it was about probably 3 or 4 when I first seen it because my auntie was mad about it, and it was just one of those movies that has been a staple of all our childhoods, basically. You know.
Yeah, but I can understand why. Like as you said, like it's obviously shot very well. The production on it's
Yeah.
very well done. Look at the names behind it. Do you know what I mean? Of course, it was going to be great, but it's not just that. It's how, as Greg said, it's such a simple story. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. You don't need to be difficult. And as we said at the start, it is in essence a kind of kids film. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously over here they cut out that bit, so it can't be like a difficult plot. And sometimes that's what makes some films so great and what makes them stand the test of time. Because if it's overly difficult or convoluted and stuff, you're just like, I don't want to watch it all the time because I have to concentrate. Whereas this, you can just kind of pop on, and if you need to go do something, you can come back and
Yeah.
like, you know what's happening. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
And here's a little fun fact and an Easter egg. You notice the old guy in it is talking about gremlins when he's drunk and he's coming out of the pub and he's talking
Yeah.
about how in the war that they used to put gremlins in machinery. And he blames the Japanese. Here's a really really cool fact for you is that you may or may not know. So the notion of gremlins was first conceived during the 1920s when mechanical failures in RAF aircraft were jokingly blamed on the small monsters. The term gremlins also entered popular culture as children's author and RAF pilot Roald Dahl published a book called The Gremlins in 1943 based on the mischievous creatures. Walt Disney considered making a film of it. A Bugs Bunny cartoon of the era, Fallen Hair, has him battling a gremlin on an airplane. So Joe Dante had read The Gremlins and said that the book was some influence on his film. So there you go. The great Roald Dahl.
I had heard that before that it came the term gremlins was mechanical fault issues that happened in planes that were poorly
Yeah.
built.
Yeah. So, but the fact that Roald Dahl, the fact he was an RAF pilot and actually wrote a book in it because he's obviously a legend in his own right. But that's some cool little
Yeah, and
facts there.
it's cool that they took that but didn't make a film of his book. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
They
exactly.
took
The
the
concept.
character and they're
Yeah.
like, right, let's take the character which he took from something else, and they were like, let's
Yeah.
make our own thing about it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I mean, the start of this film obviously is so simple. It's the dad going into a little trinket shop to try and sell some of his gear, and comes out with nothing, and then the kid sells him the Mogwai.
Yeah,
It's amazing. Yeah. And the
I
shop is so cool, isn't it? Because I love that kind of Japanese kind of based lore.
yeah,
Everything's real quirky looking, and he's got his little.
I love that the kid's like, yeah, down here, and he's like, this is your granddad's shop, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even he's like, even
You're
back
get
then they
you're
were like, oh,
getting
hang on,
robbed
I
here.
am getting fleeced out of it if I go down here. About 20 lads are gonna jump out with baseball bats and knock the shit out of me. And it doesn't, which is great. And then you get to see, we don't really see Gizmo
No,
then. We just kind of hear him, and
singing, yeah.
yeah, it's so good. Like,
I think again this goes for a while. It goes off the less is more,
Yes.
and then when he arrives back home, obviously with it, and he's like, Billy, I got you a present. Like, I don't know about any of yous, but if I landed back with say a dog or a cat or even a gremlin if they were real, for one of
They
my
are real.
kids,
What are you talking about?
for one of my kids, and I hadn't told my other half that I was doing it, I reckon I'd be on the sofa or I'd be out on the street.
Well, the great thing about it is you could get one of the gremlins to take care of the other half, and then you're grand.
No, because then you have to get them wet, and then that causes more issues.
You'd rather get her wet. Anyway, moving along. Can anyone? Can anyone? Can anyone name the dad Randall Peltzer's inventions?
Shy.
well, he had
Bear
a
shy.
he had a smokeless ashtray.
Yeah.
Can you name them?
Well, smokeless ashtray was one. I think it's smokeless, isn't it?
Peltzer smokeless ashtray. Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody else goes on to like steal his idea.
The travel experience, is it?
No, you're close.
He has the I don't know what the name of it is, that orange juice thing, but it's like their family's name, Orange Squeezer or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they actually named that one.
Peltzer Orange Squeezer or something like that, and it
you just
fires fucking orange everywhere.
Yeah, because you see him getting it, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he thinks it's working, and then it's not. No, so the other one is the bathroom buddy. That's the one that sprays. That's the one Greg's talking about. Sprays all the toothpaste all over him, and then he has the Peltzer pet, which obviously was going to be.
That's what. Yeah, Gizmo was going to be the Peltzer pet. Yeah.
A little bit of fun trivia for people out there, because we, as we know on this show, the lads love a quiz. So if that ever pops up, you can actually would be 3 good options for people to put into their quiz. Actually,
yeah, if somebody's thinking of doing a Christmas quiz, it could go in there as well.
That would be a tough one now, really.
It would. You'd want to be a proper Gremlins fan, which we all are, but you know.
Yeah. But even then, it's you know what the inventions are, but the names you're sometimes kind of like, oh, what the fuck did he call it?
Just think of putting Peltzer in front of everything, and
you're Peltzer anything that'll do. Yeah, that'll do.
Peltzer Pecker. Yeah.
But I mean, like, do you find this movie a little bit weird, right? So Billy's obviously an adult because he's working in a bank and stuff, right? And he has Corey Feldman, right, coming up to his room, who's just like the neighbor's kid to just hang out.
See, I always kind of took it that he's not really an adult. I always took it that he's probably like
just left high school or something.
Yeah, like he's just out of school, because he's like a bank teller. It's it's not like he's high up in the bank. Do you know what I mean? He's just starting out.
And to be fair, like I used to go around and bother my cousin all the time. It was like 6 years in the difference with us, and I was kind of a kid going over.
Yeah, but there's difference about family and all though. But like,
I know, but you know, some of these neighbours could be almost like family as well.
Yeah, I suppose it was the 80s as well, so it was probably
the 80s, and you know, there was
a simpler time.
I mean, we are talking about dodgy Hollywood producers and all stuff like that, you know. So,
yeah. But there's definitely
won't get into that.
No.
There definitely is some like kind of. It is a bit weird in some like. Billy is a dick, like really.
Oh, probably.
Like, you know, he seems kind of all right a lot of the time, but then he's like, oh, don't get the mogwai wet, right? And he gets wet, and obviously the first time it's an accident, and you're like, all right, listen, it was an accident, it's no big deal. Like, these things happen, whatever. Then he brings it to someone, he's like, yeah, if you put water on it, it clearly hurts Gizmo, and he's just like, yeah, let's just keep doing it. You're like, you fucking dick, you know that hurts him, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, Rachel can't watch it anymore because of Gizmo's face when he gets sad in it.
Yeah, and then bright light, and they're just shining lights in his face, and you're like, fucking hell, you know he doesn't like that, stop doing it.
Yeah, I actually don't like Billy.
No. He's a dick,
Ted,
like.
You sold me, Ted. You sold me.
Yeah, and the scientist, the scientist guy, you're like, listen, he's a scientist. He's obviously just interested in
how it all works. He has to do.
Well, not what he has to do, but like he's a scientist, so you're kind of like, listen, he's trying to figure out what it is, how these things happen. So he's a bit of a dick. But Billy's meant to love Gizmo, and you're like, no, you're a fucking dick, dude. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he has Gizmo for all of 4 days, and he causes fucking havoc.
No, Gizmo doesn't cause any havoc.
No, Billy does.
Billy
havoc.
does. Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's craziness. Like, I love the fact though that when they get wet and then they go into their cocoons and they come out and they're like Gizmo.
Oh, well, the cocoon is after they eat.
They come out after the bubbles and they're like Gizmo, but they're like stoned off their nut and stuff.
Yeah. Dicks.
And then one of them is obviously chewed through the alarm clock wire, and he feeds them after 12 o'clock, and then they cocoon, and then they just come out as badass motherfuckers.
Yeah. And I love the kind of the music in this as well. I mean, all the 80s had great music and sound effects. I love that kind of siren sound, especially in the swimming pool scene where it's all bubbling up. You're like, this is creepy, really.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know what though? Some of the attacks in this are so fucking funny. Like, obviously you have that horrible lady that keeps trying to kill his dog, so they strap her into the chair,
into the stair lift,
and ramp it up full.
So funny, like, because
those stair lifts onto the street.
But, like, those stair lifts, they don't actually, like, they only go about like one step at a time. Do you know what I mean? They're real slow. So when you see them in a film and it's like, whoa, you're like, fucking hell, look at that thing
Turn it
go.
up to 11, yeah.
Yeah.
The cop driving by as she's coming out the window, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Like, imagine being that cop going, what in the name of good Lord is going on here?
And then you obviously have Kate, who's working in the bar, serving all the gremlins drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate's a good character as well.
And the Flasher gremlin is hilarious.
Oh my god.
Like, I remember the first time when I actually understood what it was, when she was serving behind the bar and she turned around and she's just like,
There's so
like,
many innuendos in the movie, like, isn't it? It's
See, that's one of the things that made cartoons and films and like kids films and stuff back then. No, not even wacky. What made them so good is because they had little jokes like that for the adults. Like, you knew you were gonna, like, we've made kind of a kids film and this, that, and the other. The kids are gonna watch it and they're gonna watch it again and again and again, and the parents are gonna have to sit there and watch this fucking thing over and over and over. So there was always little jokes like that, you know, like Animaniacs did it, obviously, like the Looney Tunes and all had stuff like that. They all had stuff like this because they're like, adults are gonna have to sit and watch this, and the kids won't get it. Yeah, Simpsons did it, but now that's all kind of gone. You're just like, fucking hell, just why would you take those? Like, those jokes worked for a reason. Like, do you know what I mean? The kids never got them.
Somebody's gonna get offended.
Yeah.
Yeah, wokeism killed the cat, unfortunately. But
Killed the cartoon world.
Yeah, but the good thing about it is that's why we shows like this to bring it back to your attention, because these movies still exist. Can't cancel movies, unfortunately, for them.
Apparently you can cut them though.
Well, yeah, you could do that. God.
Yeah, but see, a lot of the time I don't like films being like having anything cut out with them. I'm kind of like, no, they should be shown as pure. But this is one of those films that I am glad that they cut it out of for so long, because obviously then if they hadn't, I'd never have seen this for years. Do you know what I mean?
Just for that 20-second clip that they cut out is perfect.
Yeah,
and
that's all they had to cut out was just 20 seconds, and it's just literally, you know, they probably could have just cut 3 or 4 seconds even, just get rid of that little bit of monologue, and then the film runs completely smoothly. As a kid's film, like, as a kid you might be a little bit scared of some of it, but you know, overall it can run as a kid's film just without that little scene, and that scene doesn't actually affect any of the rest of the film. You don't lose anything. Yeah, you don't lose anything by that not being there.
I was always surprised after I'd seen it and I'd heard it. I was always surprised they put it into it, making the film the way they did.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, like it didn't need to be there. In all honesty.
No, that's what I'm saying. It didn't impact the film any which way. You know what I mean? It was. But look, it's a kind of a cool, I suppose, fucking Easter egg at this stage, and almost it was folklore for probably quite a while.
Absolutely.
Until the internet came into play, but
and there you see it. Ted said he didn't see it until he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, not the film, like just that one scene. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even me, like I probably ran that.
Ted's got gremlins running around
there.
there.
Get away from that! Oh no, he's eating. Oh no. Oh no, he's after eating something, the little bastard.
Well, that would mean...
That's an awesome little figure.
That would mean that someone's been in my house here, because Gizmo's been with me for 10 years. So that means someone's been in this house.
We've all been in that house.
Touched my Gizmo. Fuck's sake.
Someone must have spilled a bit of water on him ages ago. You know, he could be running around for ages.
They'll give you a funny little backstory to this, right? Because it's NECA as well.
Always good quality.
Rachel had got this for me the first time we met for my first birthday that we were together, right? We worked in a place, and she had left it on the desk with a load of other presents, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool, because I was always saying, I want Gizmo. I was like, no, I want actually Gizmo, not a Gizmo, I want Gizmo. And I'd always been saying that, and she was telling me when she bought it, as you can see, it's a Gizmo 6-inch plush toy, right? So when she got it, she said she got home one day and her mom said, you got a delivery today? And she goes, oh yeah, I was waiting on that. She got real excited and she goes, 6-inch Gizmo plush, battery's not included. And that's what she kind of
realized. She was expecting it to make.
That's she kind of realized. Oh shit, no, it's not like that. It's Gizmo the fucking toy, the teddy. And she said the relief in her mom's face, she was like, oh, thank God.
Well, I mean, they could have given Rachel some relief. It was the other thing, but you look.
Well,
Yeah, but I don't think her ma would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's great, Rachel. Well done."
wanting to know what her
Yeah.
daughter is filling
Can,
her pores with, yeah.
can I buy one too?
the,
um,
the innocence
oh,
of it.
but like the whole thing about this, once they become obviously the gremlins that we know, like all hell breaks loose.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're a destructive
The
force.
whole town just gets destroyed.
just
Yeah,
proper, like literally, the word is nuisances, just
yeah.
nuisance,
Yeah,
but dangerous. Like when they fucking wrap, like living in the Christmas tree, you know, like
the cinema, the sweet shop, the flower
everywhere,
shop,
everywhere.
the bank.
They're
Just
just absolute like reckless. Like,
there's nothing off limits.
yeah,
Nothing off
anything
limits.
goes. Just fucking get in there, wreck that. Let's move on to the next bit.
It's
I
great.
love Dick Miller in this though. Like he's always just going on about it, and then he's like, "The Gremlins are here."
He is amazing. He is
He's
amazing.
so good in everything.
But
He's
it's such
amazing.
a small character. Do you know what I mean? Like his character is in the film, I'd say for what
5 minutes at best.
even like I was gonna say like a minute, like because you see him when he's drunk in the pub the first time, and they're like, "No, you're not driving home," and he's
Then he's
talking
trying
about
to start. He's trying to start the car.
yeah, and they're like, "You're not the Gremlins," and he's talking about them, and then this is like kind of the next time you really see him, and he's like, "I knew them Gremlins were real," and you're like, "That's a guy he's had maybe 3 minutes screen time altogether, and you still remember him." Do you know what I mean? Like because he made it seem so believable that he was this like mad drunk that used to
Yeah.
work in airplanes and stuff like back in the day.
And then obviously with everything being destroyed, and then you see Corey Feldman firing fucking slingshot bullets at them, climbing up the wall, up the side of his house,
I love it. I love how intelligent they are as well, though. Do you know what I mean?
from
Because when
straight
they,
from the get go.
but like once they get rid of, um, most of them, and it looks like he's gotten rid of all of them, and it's just the one bad guy
Stripe.
left. Stripe is left, and he's like, oh, it's just one left. Like he's the main one. It's fine. We'll just get him, and then it'll all be done. And Stripe is like, let me get to that swimming pool, lads. Fuck me.
Yeah.
I love when he goes into the toy shop, and then they're all running around looking for him, and all of a sudden the toy shop has a plant shop with a water fountain, and he's Joe when he comes out, he's chasing him with the chainsaw thing,
Oh, it's so good. Like, cause it's so ridiculous, isn't it?
and then
Like,
like he knocks him away, and the belt sander's going, he's going with it.
yeah, but that's what's so good. It's so ridiculous, this stuff that's happening. You're like, what
I
the
love
fuck?
and I love how they blow up obviously the cinema and think they've got them all, but Stripe goes over to the shop to get a candy bar.
Because there was none left, and he's just looking candy.
Candy. It's fucking brilliant.
I love though in the cinema, do you know when they're going down to release the gas, and nobody's noticed that, and then you see their shadow from the other side, and then they realize what's happening,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you see them all running at the screen.
Oh. Yeah, it's kind of I like at the end as well how Mr. Wing, obviously who owns the Japanese store, comes to reclaim Gizmo at the end. That's like Gizmo doesn't really look that disappointed to be gone either. Like
Fuck
Oh,
these guys, I'm out.
These guys have been fucking pouring water on me all fucking day. Fucking
shining
get me out
lights
of
in my
here.
face, like
Yeah.
Bye, Billy.
little 7-year-old bastard coming in, fucking dropping water on me, like fucking nah. I'm out.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
me
I'm
home.
out of here, guys. But I love the singing of Gizmo. I think that's actually like I think that gets overlooked a lot in the film, like because it's only done for a short time. But
Yeah,
it's
the little
done
melody is lovely.
Yeah, it's done so well, and it's such a like it is. It's a really good melody, and then they have like the keyboard.
And then like it's real funny, Joe, when you see the dad trying to get back, and he's stuck at the gas station, and the man's smoking all the cigarettes. He's like, "Let me show you this smokeless ashtray." And then Mr. Wing comes to collect them, and he's like, "Here, let me give you something." He's like, "Ooh, smokeless ashtray."
Yeah, someone's stolen his invention. The one good thing he makes, and someone steals it from him.
No, he doesn't. No one's stealing it. He says the man at the gas station is selling them.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Because he
Where'd
gives your man at the gas station the one that he has.
yeah, just one though.
Yeah, and he says he sold it to him at the gas station.
I see. I took that your man at the gas station was selling them, as in plural.
No,
So
sure.
he sat there
He wouldn't have got a chance to make them in a day.
I don't know.
Wow.
Some of those inventions, I'd say you could pop them out fairly quick. All right.
Well, we'll go with that. But like it's just an all round classic, really, and you can watch it any time of the year.
Yeah, there's no weak spots in the movie. Like it's just a fun movie. Like
And it's a high 80s on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that we go too much off it. I think it's 84, 85.
Yeah, it's a fun film. Like one, obviously you can sit down with the kids and watch as long as you have that little bit cut out and stuff. But it's so simple, and like you know you come home from a long day at work, you don't want to put on something tough to watch. Just like,
You're
I just want
definitely not
something.
putting on something like Schindler's List or something.
You're not putting that on anyway, right? It doesn't matter how easy your day at work was. You're not coming home to watch Schindler's List, like, right? Good film, but fucking hell. Once you've seen it once, that's enough. You're not watching it again. Fucking hell.
I've seen it twice. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Yeah, I've seen it once.
yeah,
I was like, right, that's enough of that. I don't want to watch that
plenty
again.
of other Liam Neeson movies I could.
Yeah, a lot easier to watch. But this is so easy to watch that you just come home. It's just like, right, had a tough day. Just want to put something on where I can just kind of turn my brain off and just enjoy myself. Like, you stick this on, you're like, right, that's fucking sorted. Like,
Sound, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I mean, like, and I've said it on a few shows. Like, I know certain horror films in along the 80s had gratuitous nudity and whatnot for no reason. This didn't, which was also a good way to do it. Do you know what I mean? And I know this was going to be aimed at younger audiences, but still, back then you got a bit of everything in those kids' movies.
they're all like I mean the '80s really was the '90s kids, which you are will tell you.
the
You know,
Wild West.
but '80s movies were the best. Like because even '90s kids still like yourselves watched all the '80s ones. I mean, you could go Goonies, Gremlins, Turtles. Well, Turtles was '90s. Well, you know what I mean. There's such a long list of those classics.
And
Ghostbusters,
they were the kids' ones to watch. Really, they were the
yeah,
easy ones to watch. Beetlejuice,
Beetlejuice, Monster Squad.
Monster Squad's so fucking good. I watched that with Finn earlier on in the year.
Yeah, it's just
We
amazing
see,
movies, like
I that's kind of what's like. Obviously, this podcast's all about horror, and like we want adult horror films as well. But you don't really get kids horror films much anymore. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
no.
Like, there's been a couple of them, but they're too light on the horror aspect. Like you had like Hotel Transylvania and stuff, and it's not.
Frankenweenie and all that.
Yeah, like they're not terrible. Like they're fine. They're kids films. They're not terrible, but they don't hold up as well because they go too heavy on the kid bit. They're like,
Yeah,
we don't want to actually scare anyone. It's like, no, just let it go a little bit. Like Ghostbusters could in some ways be considered
That
scary
that
to a kid.
opening scene in the New York Library,
Yeah,
oh,
the librarian, that's fucking
ter-
terrifying. Still,
terrifying. Yeah,
yeah,
even Ghostbusters too. There's some very scary scenes in that. Like, because I mean, I
yeah,
went to the cinema to see that as a kid, and there's some terrifying scenes in that. Like you see
big
the
go there,
Titanic,
Carpathian.
when you see them all coming in from the harbor, like the
Yeah,
Titanic's just arrived.
yeah.
It's like so no, but Gremlins is definitely up there as one of the top ones. I mean, as like we talk about iconic characters, Ted um made this point a long time ago, and it doesn't necessarily need to be an actual person or anything. It could be a symbol. Gizmo is literally one of the most iconic um
things. Yeah, film.
things, entities, beings, whatever, characters ever in anything. I mean, there's nobody that doesn't want to have a gizmo, some sort of gizmo teddy, or I mean,
I I
even in
used
the
to have the
main
Teddy.
shops. But even
Yeah,
yeah, even in the main shops, like in Pennies and all now, they
he's
still
still
sell
going.
gizmo hot water bottles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
remember I used to have a Gizmo Teddy with the back open, and used to have three of the little balls that come out. Yeah.
yes, I mean,
I'm sure it's probably still in my Maz somewhere.
well, like the figure that Ted has there, like that's a NECA, isn't it? I assume Ted.
No, I don't think it's NECA. Can't
No,
remember who it is.
well, whatever. Like NECA have a line of
Oh yeah,
graphics, and they literally have every single figure made from both films ever, and it's one of their top selling things. So it's like it's
yeah.
just an amazing. I mean, even the covers, the posters for Gremlins, the actual film posters are
They were
just
unreal.
amazing. That's another thing, isn't it? Film posters not the same anymore.
Sad, it's sad. I used to love them. I used to get them out of the Bray Cinema and have loads of them.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Um,
you get the odd good one these days, but I think part of the thing for me is that like I used to always get them when I was a kid. I'd be like, oh, get a film poster, get this, and then they just sit in my room like furled up because I didn't stick it up anywhere because I was
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to put it on the wall.
Look at that.
Yeah, like
I actually prefer the second one to this one in terms of the poster.
Oh, the poster's amazing.
yeah.
So you know
But
where
Also
it's
has
just the
Hulk
back of
Hogan, which is
just the back
awesome.
of the chair, and it's like that.
Yeah.
See, this is the one
It
big
does
thing
have Hulk Hogan.
we've
Great
we
scene.
we've said this before. Like obviously, you used to, that we miss the fact that you used to have somewhere that you'd go to rent films on a Friday night or Saturday night, whatever. It used to be such a thing, and you'd go in and you'd pick up random films. But because films are like videos, DVDs, Blu-rays, it's not really a thing anymore. That's not really how people consume them. Like I have honestly hundreds of DVDs in the house, like an unbelievable amount that I've accumulated over the years. But I don't even really watch them on the DVDs that much anymore because you just watch it online, and that's one
But
of the big
it's cool
losses.
having them though.
No,
It's
but it's cool
accessible,
having them,
isn't it?
but that's one of the big losses because now
Yes.
you don't get a good, like, why would you bother paying somebody who's good to do make good artwork for your DVD or Blu-ray box? Why would you bother? Because no one's going to buy it. Like,
Yeah.
or very few people are going to buy it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas back then when you were buying your DVD or your VHS, like that you went and bought it or you rented it, so
Well,
you needed a box.
cinema posters still can be eye catching. Like that's the purpose. Like I mean, people can walk by the cinema and go, "Oh shit, what's that?" And if it's a really cool poster, at least it's lodged in their mind, and they'll go, "Oh, check out what that is. Check out what
Well,
trend."
Oh yeah, yeah, but
I, ro-
they're
I,
like
ro- I,
because you
ro-
don't sell them anymore. Like look at
Yeah,
that the DVD box that you held up there. It's like a fucking brilliant image, and I was like, right, we need to have something good because whatever we make, it also needs to be what goes on the box. And when people go into a shop, that we needed to snap and like stand out from everything, so we can be like, oh, I'm gonna get that this week and see what that is. You
yeah.
needed to have something like that. You don't need that anymore.
Well, Greg said that before, didn't you, Greg? About like
the posters or the front covers of the art box got me every time.
I think
Yeah.
I think you and me both said that. Like that's how we got to see. People always ask us like, how do we know so
House.
much C and D list horror movies?
Yeah.
Because those covers were essential to the purchase of or
Yeah.
renting of a video. Like
Well,
Ted is just saying now, because
Yeah.
you're like, I'm judging this book by its cover, and I'm
Well,
renting it. You know?
just on that point, lads. Obviously we're all from Bray and whatnot. Shout out to the best in the business at doing posters nowadays from Kilcool, Creepy Duck Designs. He he's doing all the big posters for all the
Mhm.
big companies around the world now.
Oh,
Top work coming from there.
Awesome.
So shout out
yeah.
to Creepy Duck.
And see, yeah, and see, like it's a shame because he'll get those posters put up, and yeah, people will see them in the cinema and stuff. But like again, do you remember you used to go into Golden Discs or whatever, right? And they'd have that big
Poster section.
rack, the big
Yeah, with
rack
the
of
rolled up
posters.
posters. Yeah.
And I think that's still a thing. I think they're still there, but I don't ever like. I remember even if I wasn't buying one, every time I went in, I'd look.
Oh, you have to look. That was like
Oh yeah.
the thing. You had to look.
If you go into somewhere that has them now, there's never anybody sitting there flicking through them. And like,
Do you know what?
It's just
One thing that you'd be surprised. Tower Records in Dublin still does actually, and HMV now it's back. But Tower Records in particular, they have a big rack of them, and apparently they're big sellers. I've noticed a couple.
are they? Okay, well that's good. I am
Now,
glad to see that.
the room that I'm here in is going to be done in the new year. It's basically going to be like a cinema room, podcast room, whatever, just all round fucking man cave. And we're going to get four big posters either side of the wall, get them framed. So I'm in the midst of picking out those posters now at the moment. It's a really cool place that you can get online, any size you want. So I'm thinking of getting a mix of Universal Horror and
The Thing.
yeah, The Thing is going there, and probably They Live, and then I'm thinking Bela Lugosi's Dracula, and
1932.
maybe Jaws. Might have to
You know what? Jaws for me, I think is probably the best movie poster ever.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, does exactly what it says on the tin, doesn't it?
It's definitely up there, all right.
Whereas
Ever.
The Thing grabs you, doesn't it? Because you're like, what?
It's like the big white light coming out the back.
Yeah. And the They Live one is unreal because it's Roddy Piper with the glasses on, and then you can
Yeah.
see the reflection.
But that's what I mean. Like you think about them, and not even just for horror. Like you think about any type of film back in the day, they had to have something that caught your eye.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a massive shame now that
Big time.
people don't buy DVDs and stuff like that, and they don't, like posters aren't as big as they used to be. So like that artwork is kind of being lost a little bit because it's only for the cinema poster really now.
Blu-ray's making a big comeback worldwide. Actually, it seems to be the next. It seems to be
Well, see,
an extension of the return of
well, you
record
see,
players.
this is why they're starting to make this comeback, because you're starting to get a lot of this. The streaming services are starting to. There's so many of them now that you have Netflix, but it's not on Netflix. It's on Paramount. Or it's not on Paramount. It's on
Prime,
Disney.
yeah.
It's on Prime, and there's so many
And you
different ones.
notice they're charging you to rent them as well
Yeah,
now.
exactly. So now they're starting to charge for rent. So people are actually starting to go, listen, I can't afford to be on every single platform. So I'm just going to start buying DVDs again, and that's
Yeah,
why we're starting to see the real resale. And I'm
it's
all for
good.
this big thing coming back, because
Yeah,
that's what I want. I want to be able to have like a good, like visual, like on the box and stuff. And it'll force them to have to, actually get good posters. Get rid of these shite, like not every poster shit, but you see a lot of posters, and they're just kind of, you're like, it's just the name of the film. Like, what the fuck?
I just had a doozy that came to mind. Like the song says, "Video killed the radio store,"
Yeah,
but internet killed the video store.
yeah.
So there we go.
Well, I think that's probably a way to leave it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, lads. Out of 5 slabs of meat, what are you giving it?
Full five for me. Full five.
Yeah, same for
Got
me.
5 for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
All
think
in,
it's
and
sweet.
I'm pretty
top,
sure
top.
King would go the same.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, you would.
top film.
Yeah.
And what better way to start the Christmas one than
All goes downhill from here.
sledging downhill?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
That's the wrong type of show.
Although I do love their Christmas films.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
lads, it's been great to have you back.
Pleasure.
The Christmas build-up is always good, though. To be fair, we always have some random stuff pop up. But this was asked for. I can't remember who asked me for the Christmas ones. So we said we'd do 4. You'll get 4. This is number 1. Tune in next week to see what we got. But what we'll do is we'll finish this the way we finish every single Friday night, lads. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.